Here we go.
All right. Hey guys, it's Linda Hobson with the Princess Mafia. We are back from being on hiatus, and tonight is so exciting for me, and for all of us, but especially for me. I want to first tell you, if you're a first-time watcher or listener of the Princess Mafia, we want to tell you a little bit about who we are, why you're listening to these crazy chicks with the pink cats, and why we call ourselves the Princess Mafia. Well, it started out where we all became friends because we were in the same internet marketing company. And so we masterminded together and we went to events together and everything. And we found out that we all had kind of the same mission, basically, of what we wanted to do with our business. And that is to help women 40 and over to step into their personal power by personal development teaching, law of attraction, success mindset, holistic health, no, I shouldn't say cures, but holistic health life practices, I guess I should say. And so we decided that we wanted to do something. Well, and I wasn't going to tell the story, but I'll tell it. We were all in the same room together, and I have severe sleep apnea. And so this was before I was diagnosed with severe sleep apnea, so I snored like a freight train. And I warned Zen that I snored. She's like, "Oh, it's no big deal. I'll put in my headphones." No, well, I tried to tell her, and she built this like wall of pillows to try and not hear me. So the next morning, of course, I'm like sleeping. I don't know what's going on. She smacks me on the back of the head because Zen actually is part Italian. So she smacks me on the back of the head like an Italian mom should and says, "You snore, you princess." And I'm like, "Hey, princesses snore." And so then Saturday night, we get ready to go out to the get-together, the meet and greet, and we're getting dressed up. And I love to wear fedoras. I love wearing hats, and my favorite hat is a fedora. So I had on my favorite black fedora. And Zen said to me, "Man, you look so cool. You look like you're in the Mafia." And I said, "Princess Mafia, baby." And the Princess Mafia was born. We decided to align together and get our message out together to women over 40 to help them understand that life is not ending. Life is just beginning. That you can have everything you want in life if you just take the steps to get there. And the reason, not only because of the fedoras, but we also found through sharing a hotel room together, is that we all have a fascination, a weird kind of obsession fascination with all things mafia, Italian, kind of the Italian culture. And so we thought it would be really fun. Nobody else is doing that. So that's when the Princess Mafia came into being. And of course, as I said before, my name is Linda Hobson. I'm an older mom. I had my one and only child at 38. So, my kids going to school with those kids' moms are like in their 20s and early 30s. And I'm here in my 50s amongst all these, rugrats. And, but I love it. And I live in middle America, St. Louis, Missouri. And I love being part of the Princess Mafia. I'm going to pass it over to Nancy so she can introduce herself and kind of, where she's from and all of that. Unmute yourself. And I don't know if I can mute myself.
Hey everybody, how you doing? My name's Nancy Lohr, and I live in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Don't ask me why I live up there. I don't really know how I got up there, but I moved up there about 15 years ago, lived in Detroit, Michigan all my life. Always been very heavy into mindset work and personal development. And when I joined up with these two, with Zen and with Linda at our company event, and we found out that we had this commonality between us, as far as law of attraction, personal development, mindset, and we brought the Princess Mafia. Well, it was born at that time. We really realized that, between the three of us, we have probably I don't know, maybe like 50 years of experience, between the work that I've done, the work that Zen has done in her life, and the work that Linda has done. So we thought, what better way to bring it than create something that people could identify with it, especially the Mafia, and we kind of laugh about it now, but the Mafia, we all liked the principles of the Mafia because they're strong in family. You got to admit, okay, they're very, very strong family people. They will definitely kill for what they love, except for, instead of us shooting people, we just want to, kill people with good information, with kindness, with things that are going to help them along in their lives. And we're very strong and we're passionate about it. And we also
there are no whackings in the Princess Mafia.
And we also like food too. I mean, that's not such a bad thing, So that's a little bit about who we are, and how I kind of see us, moving forward and bringing you information that can help you in your life. So I'm going to hand it over to Zen and let her talk about where she comes from.
Okay, how do I get myself on the big screen here? Or am I?
No, you're good.
Oh, okay. I'm Zen. My real name is Lillian, and Zen was a nickname given to me many years ago because I'm from the Northeast. I'm Italian and Irish, and I'm either Zen or I'm Mount Vesuvius, and I decided to bury the Mount Vesuvius long ago because it doesn't serve me. So I got the nickname Zen because after that, everything is chill. So, and everything sorts out. In my mind, the universe creates everything to work out exactly how it should go based on what your beliefs are. So I'm a hypnotherapist. I'm an NLP practitioner. I work with all kinds of modalities. And right now here in Shenzhen, and I am here because my kid's dad works here a lot, and they were missing each other. And so he asked me, since you work on your laptop, would you consider coming over here for 2 years so that our girl can go to a cool international school and you can live out again? We lived in Singapore way back when. So, and I always enjoyed it. So I said, absolutely yes. And so they have a great relationship. We all have a great relationship now. I love what I'm doing here. I'm out speaking for personal development, NLP, just helping people with personal development. And I do it within, I'm starting to work at a new clinic starting next week to give classes there as well. So this is going to be really awesome, and I just love it. And I don't know if I'm stepping back into the U.S. come summertime or what I'm going to be doing, but at either way, I'm coming up with my various symbols, and I think that the universe will make it sort out exactly how it's going to play out. So I'm really interested in seeing what Paul has to say today, so I think I'll just turn it over now. And sorry about my missing hat. It went in the wind somewhere here in Shenzhen. So.
Hey, that's okay,
There's a
Zen.
Chinese person out there with my pink fedora.
Yeah, some Chinese person running around with a pink fedora.
Yeah.
All right. So tonight is so exciting for me personally because I actually unfortunately did not know who Paul Santisi was until just a couple of months ago. And that is because I have a millionaire mentor in the company that I'm in now that is teaching us not only how to do business, but really the success mindset of just getting deep into personal development, because success starts with you. It's not who you represent. It's not the products you sell. It is all about you and the relationships you build with your customers. And one of the things that he suggested was a guided meditation by Paul. And I loved it. It was, it's about an hour long, and I always wanted to meditate, but I always felt stupid because everybody told me when I said, I really want to learn how to meditate, and I talked to people who meditated, and they said, if you really don't know what you're doing, or just sit there and be calm and quiet and pay attention to your breathing, just concentrate on your breathing. And really it's all about becoming one with yourself and becoming calm and listening to what your inner self wants to say to you and connecting with that inner self? Well, I always fell asleep. And partly because I had sleep apnea and I wasn't getting good sleep at night, but it always it did calm me, but I never did really get like answers or anything like that because I always fell asleep. And so when my mentor suggested that I listen to Paul Santisi, I jumped on that because I thought, something that's guided is really going to help me delve into this. And it has become a ritual for me. It's become a daily habit. And for me, that's big. In fact, Nancy and I had a conversation about that today, is that I am a ritualistic person. However, new habits and new rituals are hard for me to take on and keep. I really have to keep at it for it to become a habit. And so ever since I met Paul through listening to his meditations, my life has completely changed. I am proud to say that he is one of my favorite people that I go to sleep with. Because he's just a hot Italian and he's got this nice voice. And he has I don't know if you might be Sicilian. I'm not sure if are you Sicilian? Okay. But anyway, so I listened to his meditation that my mentor had suggested, and basically that is really diving into what your blocks are and really clearing those blocks out from your daily thoughts so that you can get into success. And so I listen to that on a daily basis in the morning. And then at night, he has several for relaxation and for sleep. I like the one that's an hour long. And every night, I put on my mask for my sleep apnea, and I plug in my headphones, and I turn Paul on. And usually about halfway through is when I fall asleep. But your unconscious or your subconscious still hears what he's saying. So you're still having the benefits even if you fall asleep. So I want to thank you, Paul, not only for changing my life, because it really has helped me have clarity in what I want to do for my business. It's helped me with my self-esteem. You're such a cool guy. And of course, we have to have you on the Princess Mafia because you're a Sicilian. Yep. Sicilian, Italian, kind of the same thing. And although Sicilians and Italians will probably say differently, but anyway, I am so glad to have you on because all of us in the Princess Mafia have a lot of questions to ask you. And the one I want to start with is, how did you get started in this genre of business?
How did I get started? Okay. All right. Well, first.
And what did you do before you got into this kind of thing?
Okay. Before all that, everyone watching this we're watching this video, right? So we're watching it. I've never spoken to any of you personally. No. So this is the first time. Yep. And a couple things on Facebook here and there, but this is the first kind of communication. Yeah. So that's always fun. And I wanted it that way when you wanted to set up the show. Yeah. I don't want to know what you want to talk about. I don't want no outlines, nothing. Just hit the go button. So that makes it fun. Okay, how did all this begin? The meditations and the videos and the hundreds of hours of content that's now out there. Basically, I was with my buddies, and I was at a weekend event, and I think Nancy wanted to guess, or Zen wanted to guess what event I was at. If you want to let me know, I'll tell you if you're right.
Was it Tad James NLP?
No.
Okay.
Okay. Try again. So anyways, I was at a weekend event in Las Vegas, and I got there on a Thursday, and this was on a Saturday. And we had listened to a couple speakers, and then we broke for lunch. So I'm just walking back through the MGM the MGM Casino in Las Vegas, and I saw the word Starbucks. We walked by a Starbucks, and it was green. And I read it, Starbucks. And as soon as I read it, I literally had this voice or this presence in my head or in my body going, you'll create meditations, you'll create meditations, you'll create meditations. And I'm looking around, and I'm like, who is talking to me? And then nobody was talking to me. It was in my head. You'll create meditations, you'll create meditations. And I finally said to myself, I said, okay, I'll create meditations. And I accepted it because I wanted the voice to stop. It was coming at me. And then I looked at my friend Joe and I said, hey, Joe, when I get home, I'm going to make meditations. And he looked at me and he goes, why would you do that? And we all just kind of laughed, because if you had known me prior to hearing that voice and I told you I'm going to start making meditations, it would have been like me saying I'm going to Switzerland to build tunnels. It didn't make any sense. Like, uh-oh, Paul cracked. Where's it going? You know? It was that much of a contrast to who I was and what I said I was going to do. And didn't think much of it, really. Finished up the weekend, went home, and then as soon as I got back home, it was back. You'll create meditations. You'll create meditations. And I remember having these conversations with myself going, I don't even know what meditating is. Don't you have to be like creepy and weird to meditate? Like, where do I begin? And this presence was just like, we'll do it together. And I sat down with some paper, some white paper and some blue pen. And then I put that into the computer and I did the best I could to what I thought I had to do, that I didn't know what I was doing. And at the end of it, I had a finished audio and I called it frequency. And I didn't know what to do with it. So let me send it to the last guy I heard on stage, because after I talked to him, I felt his voice, so maybe I'll send it to him. So I chased him down on Facebook and bugged the living heck out of him until he agreed to listen to it. And then I sent it to him, and then a few weeks went by, and he finally listened to it. And he got back to me, and he said, never stop doing what you started to do. And then I said, okay, well, now what do I do? So then I'll put it on YouTube. And I didn't have YouTube. I didn't have an account, nothing like that. So I put the first thing up on YouTube and hit upload. And I went to sleep. The next morning, it had something crazy, like 350 views, and then had dozens of comments. And I didn't know that was really good. Just some guy out of the blues on YouTube. I didn't know what I didn't know. And but in reading that morning and reading those comments on people thanking me, I feel amazing. I don't know what you did to me. I never slept so good. I dreamt vivid, clear dreams. I'm empowered. I have energy. I'm looking forward to the day. I'm like, okay, I tapped into something because the response was there. So then I thought, okay, well, I'll just make meditations now. So I started to think, what can I do next? And nothing would flow. And nothing would flow. And I was thinking, nothing would flow. So I said, okay, one hit wonder. I went back to my life. And then I noticed that I would get these feelings or these impressions that would hit me so strongly that it had to flow out of me when this feeling would hit me. So then when that feeling would hit me, I would hit record on the microphone or sit down in front of the computer and something would just flow through me. And I'd go into this zone and then all of a sudden it would be done. And then I started listening to the audios that I just created based on a feeling. And I myself was blown away with what I created because I wasn't in the think stage in the creation process. So then I put that up on YouTube and the response in the comments would be fantastic. Then I went back to the think stage. Okay, I did it again, I'll do it again. And then nothing would flow. Nothing. So I said, okay. So that's how this all began. I was just a guy in Vegas, and I heard a voice, and I listened to it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I know that Nancy and I were listening to a couple of your CDs this afternoon. We were getting Paul Santisi-ized for tonight.
Which ones? Which ones?
The 5 CDs that.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and we will put that link to get those free 5 CDs in underneath this video somewhere. So anyway, we were listening to them, and so much of it you talk about feeling, and I want to get into that a little bit later, delve into it a little bit more. But just from your story here, it was getting out of your head and attaching yourself to the feeling you had is when the creativity flowed, correct?
Right, and it flowed without effort.
Yes.
Yes.
And that's what I think, with people who are in business, no matter what, we do have a lot of our audience are in the MLM, internet marketing genre, that kind of whole umbrella of business. a lot of people struggle because they're thinking too hard. They're not leading with their heart, they're leading with their head because they want to learn so much and they want to do, and it's all thought process. But if they lead with their heart, then that's when the floodgates open to creativity of what do I talk about, what do I make videos on, and all of that. So that is fantastic. So we really aligned with that when you were talking about that. Both Nancy and I were like, it's all about feelings. It's all, and so
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
Feelings.
So can I ask you, and if you don't want to say who it is, that's fine. Is it the person that was on stage that you sent the recording to? Is it someone we would know?
You might. It was Peter Ragnar. Have you ever heard of Peter Ragnar?
No.
Check out Peter Ragnar.
Was the Las Vegas thing the secret event?
No.
Okay.
Keep going.
Keep going.
Yeah, I didn't know who Peter Ragnar was either until that day. But he's touted as like one of the luckiest people in the world. He has some phenomenal courses. He's a really magical guy, and
awesome.
It was him and another speaker, and whatever that combination was, thinking if I had to kind of try to explain it with physical words, it was on Saturday, and I got there on Thursday morning or Thursday afternoon, so I was up since Wednesday, right? So I didn't really sleep hardly. You don't sleep in Vegas.
No.
So I didn't sleep. So I probably was on 2.5 days of no sleep. And I think it was the combination of being surrounded by thousands of supportive people, getting so energetically charged by those speakers. I was probably in some kind of state of half delirium because I was so tired, but I was so fired up at the same time. Some portals opened up.
Yeah.
But I didn't talk myself out of it. Most people would say, I need another drink. I got to eat. I need to sleep. I'm hearing voices. And I'm like, okay, I will create meditation. So
right.
I didn't talk myself out of it. So anyone watching, when you hear that inner intuition, and as crazy as it sounds to you, it's not what you think about yourself or what others want you to do or who you think you need to be to impress someone else. If that hits you, acknowledge it, embrace it, and just pull on it a little bit. You can always change your mind and go in another direction. I mean, our life is our decision, period.
Absolutely.
And you may be surprised where I'm looking both ways if you guys are watching, because don't think I'm passing out.
No, that's fine.
Just listen to it, and you'll be surprised. Yeah, definitely. Everything is a feeling. And going back to what you just said at the beginning, a good way to sum up if you're in the think stage too much is how equals doubt. So if you're thinking about how to do something, you're actually focusing on doubt. You're letting in lack. You're in the stage, you're pushing it away.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel good, the how will present itself to you because you're going to feel good. You're going to get invigorated when you have those thoughts, and then the action will automatically just show up within you. So it's not about figuring anything out. It's about understanding how you feel about yourself, and then why do you want what you want in life? Why do you want the money? Why do you want the health? Why do you want the friendship? Why do you want the relationships? And ultimately, when you ask yourself, why do I want it? Why? You're going to nail it down to a feeling.
Right.
Everything is a feeling. You want the Porsche because you want the feeling that you have a Porsche. You want the Rolex because you want the feeling of a Rolex. You don't. Otherwise, it's just a car and it's a watch.
Right.
Why do you want money in your pocket? Oh, I'll feel like a somebody. You're going to feel like a somebody with a stack of dead presidents' pictures on a piece of paper in your pocket? That sounds kind of stupid.
Right.
But you're going to feel content or empowered or confident, or you're going to feel accomplished. You're going to feel like a somebody. So it's the feeling that you want. And when you go from that, the how just keeps showing up. And it will show up perpetually. You'll always have something to do, and you'll always have something to work on because you're going to be thinking correctly. Because when you feel good, or no matter how you feel, rather, like-minded thoughts follow. So if you're feeling real crummy and real miserable, you're going to keep thinking of reasons to feel more crummy and be more miserable. If you feel good, you're going to get more thoughts to keep feeling good, and that's how you pull on this flow. Yeah.
It's a big aha moment for me. To get out of, because I've been diagnosed with depression. So, and that's another thing Nancy and I were talking about today, is that changing how I feel, not thought-wise, but well, actually, like taking my mind off of whatever's triggering it. You know, and sometimes I can't even say what's triggering it, because I have, it's not severe or anything. It's a very mild case, and it's well regulated with medication. But there are times when it's affecting me where I just have this weird kind of sense of doom, like something as bad is going to happen. But and the medication does help that. But also, you know, it's about me taking control of it as well. And so then what I do is think about things that have occurred that are good things, and take my mind off of, because I can't even pinpoint why I'm feeling that way. So I might as well think of something that's concrete, that makes me happy, that makes the future bright, that kind of thing, you know, what I'm looking forward to. And so it, you know, again, it's all feeling driven. I know Nancy has some questions too, and I don't want to hog the whole time, so I'm going to mute myself and send it over to Nancy.
Sure.
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Hi.
Unlike Linda, I actually, and unbeknownst to you, I was sleeping with you about a year ago. Okay, I was having some sleep issues, going through some changes in my life, and you know, a lot of stress. So I was going looking for some guided meditations on YouTube, and I came across your meditations, and I mean, it just was profoundly helped by them, and I've been using them all along. And then we became, we got into our mentoring group, and I was really happy that our mentor had recommended your meditation. So I was, like I said, I was really happy about that, and that I was on the right track for a long time. So I wanted to thank you, and I appreciate all that you're doing. But I do have a question about law of attraction, because what you talk about a lot of law of attraction. So when you started, when you heard this voice saying do meditations, and you started, you did your meditation, were you hooked up with law of attraction, or is that something that kind of came along afterward, or just kind of wondering where the connection came in for you?
Sure. Good question. Okay. Before I heard that voice, I was in my doom and gloom days. I was in my I'm going to kick your ass, you're in my way phase. Now, before that, in my early 20s, I did very well. I was very successful. I had some really cool mentors. And I went from my mom's basement to 150 employees in about a year and a half. I had all sorts of cash flowing in, and I had anything I wanted, we'll say. And then I rode that for a few years, and then it all went away, and it went away more than it came in. Okay, it went backwards big time. So I went through a really confused time. I became my own victim of my own circumstance, and I blamed everyone else, and the government, and the banks, and the price of food and gas, and I blamed everyone for why my life sucked, and I got stuck in that for almost 10 years. And then I got really low, and I had to take a job at a light factory in the cafeteria. I mean, I really crashed. And it fit me at the time because I was feeding, I'm in the outskirts of Boston, and I was feeding a lot of very violent, miserable, mean people, okay? So most of the union, I mean, I was getting 5 or 10 death threats by 6:30 in the morning, and they would call me Sicily. They'd be like, yo, Sicily, I'm going to take a muffin. You ain't going to do nothing. You understand? He's like, I'll slice your neck. I'll kill your family. like one after another, and it was just, they're stealing my pork loins, they're breaking locks, I'm chasing them through the factory floor, tackling them, taking muffins up. It was amazing because that's where I was in life, and I had this authority to kick ass and to cook food. So I was like, I was in that negative zone, and then one day this trucker come in, this big Italian guy Eddie, and he saw how I was treating the people because I was a jerk. But I could be a jerk. I had to be a jerk. It's where I was. It was part of the whole. I got paid to be mean because I had to protect my food because they would steal it. So I had to keep my food costs where they needed to be. And one day this guy, he observed me and he's like, "Hey bro, what's up?" He's like, "Why are you acting this way?" And I'm like, "What do you want? Get out of here." And he gave me a CD, pulled the CD out because you need to listen to this. It'll help you feel better. And when I held the CD, I had like the flashbacks of my whole life, the snapshots of the success, the wine dinners, the books that I had on Napoleon Hill and Think and Grow Rich and Earl Nightingale, and all that information that I was obsessed with listening to tapes back then, morning, noon, and night. And I had this moment where I remembered who I was again. And this was like in November. And I said, "Thank you. I'll start being nice in January. I want to keep being a jerk for a couple months because I'm enjoying it." And he took his sandwich and left. I mean, we're great friends now. And, we talk often. But that was the moment where I kind of began to remember this stuff. And then hearing the voice was probably a year after I started digging out all the books again and listening. I mean, I had to go find a tape cassette player on eBay, and I was back listening to Earl Nightingale's and my other mentors and the Zig Ziglars and the Brian Tracy. So I was really familiar with that stuff when I was young. I turned my back to it for a long time. That day with that CD kind of reopened my willingness to learn again, and then the voice followed, I guess, when I was lined up, when I was ready.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, isn't it interesting how when the student is ready, the teacher will appear? And it kind of sounds like that's exactly the point where you were at.
Yeah.
Because you had, you did what you had to do that. So you thought, and you were in survival mode. And then, whatever the universe kind of brought you back and said, "Hey, you got to realign again. You're."
And what's really cool was, when I was listening to those audios again, and I started remembering about the law of attraction and things, and it was like, the universe will move heaven and earth, and you may go into your job and you may get fired, and you may think it's the most horrible thing you've ever gone through, but it's the best thing you could ever receive right now, and you don't need to know why it happened, just know that it did, and be grateful and have gratitude, and all this stuff. And that's exactly what happened. After that was November, January, February, somewhere in there, the company I was working for sold out to another company, and then they fired me on email on a Tuesday night at 10 o'clock. They go, "Don't return to work or you'll be arrested for trespassing." But I knew when that happened that something was shifting. And then I remember telling my wife, and she's crying. I run to the store, I'm buying champagne, I'm lighting up a cigar, I'm partying. She's like, "What is wrong with you?" She thought I needed to be checked in. She's like calling her parents, like everyone's coming over. "Why are you so happy? This is horrible." I'm like, "This is fantastic." I mean, you can't tell people you're listening to tapes and books, and you'll be sitting in the loony bin at the hospital. But
Right.
I went through the whole classic, what everyone says on stage, what everyone reveals in the books, and you won't believe how it works and what happens. I mean, I experienced the whole fruition. Yeah.
Well, I think Zen's got a few questions that she wants to ask herself.
Sure.
I'm trying to unmute here. Am I unmuted already?
Yeah, you're unmuted.
Okay, you can hear me. Okay. Actually, you're kind of answering as we go along because I wanted to hear, what was the beginning? And I talk about that and speaking now, and it's actually just as you said, like I never expected to be in Shenzhen, but yet there was something in my energy. I loved living in Singapore, and I knew I wanted to live out again. I didn't know how it was going to happen. This literally came up in a 6-week span. All of a sudden we were here. And it took a little while to segue into what I wanted to be and do here. But now, you know, I just got a text yesterday about speaking in Dongguan and Guangzhou, and these are areas that are 2-3 hours away, and to speak and talk on personal development, because it really connects with people. And one thing that you said that is so true, because I decided, like, you know what, don't worry about cash, don't worry about any of that stuff, because I even said to one of my talks, if you're in a lack mentality, even if I gave you a check for $100,000 right now, in 2 days you would still feel the same way you feel right now, because it's a feeling thing. You have to feel valuable as a human, let alone all that stuff. So, and where your energy, wherever you focus your energy, that stuff grows and blows up. So I've really gotten into a place where I'm enjoying what I'm doing and really having fun with it. So I just wanted to hear your beginning, because when I'm watching your tapes or your YouTube videos, I'm watching and you've got more graphics than just your voice. And this is actually a beautiful background for you, by the way. You look great with the fedora and everything. But you don't really show up, as your person. It's just your voice. And I guess that's purposeful because, so that you can put people to sleep and all that stuff with your meditations. But I was wondering how often after you did that thing where you got into the feeling place to make the meditations, how often did it start occurring more and more often, and then all of a sudden now you have 100 hours? And I guess this is a weird question, but what do you sell? Do you sell the tapes of meditations, or how to take yourself to the next level, or where do you go with it? And how is it that you created a functioning way of earning money by what you are loving doing, and you're in this great feeling place? I know that's a lot of questions wrapped up into a bundle there, so I hope.
No, it's good questions. Well, the first thing before I create anything is I get a feeling, but then I'm really enjoying honing in on my intention. I talk about intention a lot, and on every audio or meditation I tell you. Some people, they go a little crazy with the intros, but I need to explain to you what my intention is for the audio, because that's the energetic connectivity. That's the glue that you're going to expand through. If I didn't give you an intro and just jumped into the beginning, you're confused. You don't know what you're trying to experience. So my intention is first, and my intention at its core is my intention is to assist one person just to feel better about themselves. I just want someone to feel something. I just want to elicit an emotion within them. And I don't care if it's a pleasurable, happy, go to sleep emotion, or if I say something in a loud tone that gets under your skin and makes you grit your teeth in me. I got you to feel something. I took you out of the zombie vibration, and I got you to feel. Got you to, whether you like me or not, I elicit an emotion. So my intention is just to assist one person to feel, I say feel better about themselves, but it's really just to feel something about themselves. Because if I can do that, now the door's open. So with the meditations, I think there's more than 100 hours. I think there's close to 300 hours worth of stuff up there. I create and I share them all out for free. And I also do this podcast where I do lessons I teach. Those are all free. Everything's really free. And then I do have a website that you can purchase your own MP3 copies and put them on your devices or make CDs. And then all my stuff is in all the digital stores all throughout the world. So I do really well with that. But there's a concept I go by, and it's if you give someone the right to say no, you give them the opportunity to say yes. So instead of me going, here's 5 meditations, now you got to buy the next one, I just say, here, enjoy it. So I'm giving you the opportunity, and it's okay if you say no, because either way I want you to have it. And that energy, give and receive, really, I get supported back very well from a lot of people. So I have a good group of listeners that appreciate what I give. And then in addition to that, there is some courses that I don't put on YouTube. There's some specific audios on specific topics that I just don't share because you got to want to learn about that to benefit from it. If I just put it up there and you didn't know about it, you wouldn't understand it. And if, like, I have a series of newsletters and audios, they go up to 18 or 19, and there's specific training. Each one we talk about 4 or 5 techniques and concepts that I learned from my mentors that I applied that worked in my life for months or years first before I decided to teach it. So I only teach from a place of experience. But on those, if I was just to put them all up there and you listen to CD 16 before 1 through 16, none of it's going to make any sense. So why would I purposely confuse you? I'm not going to do that. So basically, I give it all away. There's some stuff I don't, and then if I do charge, it's virtually nothing, a few bucks. And then I have some energy coins and energy products, and I have some other things. I have a magnetic eye mask that you put on for your third eye activation. So there's some other products out there in addition to the audios. But I like to give everything away.
Yeah, that's actually where I'm at. You know, I'm creating a site and I'm thinking, you know, I don't really want to attach anything to it. So it was really funny when Linda said that Paul Santisi was coming on, you know, and I went, ooh, I don't know who he is. And so I'm just being honest. So I went and researched you, and I just listened to the hour and a half tape about, you said something similar to what you just said there about setting your intention and everything. But one thing that my hypnotherapy mentor gave to me a long time ago, but I actually just didn't act on it until recently, because I just didn't like talking in front of a group of people. And then I remembered what she said to me, which was kind of something that, you know, along the lines of, if you help one person, who cares if everybody likes your hair or whatever the heck it is that's on your mind, that you know, that you don't like speaking in front of people, you don't want to be judged, you don't want to be this. Let that go. If one person walks out after what you said and it has changed their life, then you have done your business for humankind. And just
Yeah.
do that. Yeah, so that's why that's why I said I'm actually enjoying what I'm doing now, because it doesn't matter if 10 people show up or 100 people show up. I still do what I do, and I still, just so that I can get everybody to breathe and calm down with me, I say that right up front, what my mentor said. So, you know, just to share with people who may be feeling the same way, like, I don't want to get up and talk, because fear of public speaking is a huge one for people. I didn't even realize it was mine until I let go and thought about, you know, how can I help somebody else? And if I can do that by just showing up, then there it is.
Gotta care, but not that much. You know, that's another powerful concept to grasp. You care, but not that much. Like, you want people to benefit, you know they will, because you're speaking from personal experience. You know what you're saying works, but you're not going to lose a night's sleep over it if they don't apply it.
Right, correct.
I say this a lot on my audios. It's not my job to manage your emotions.
Right.
So I want you to benefit. I know the magical feelings that you can experience, but I can't want it more than you, and I don't. And I think that combination, people can really feel that when I do these audios and videos. And, you know, a lot of people I've listened to a lot, or tried to listen to a lot, there's no intention, or if there is an intention, we don't know what it is. And then it's a technical creation. They focus on the music, they focus on the tone, and they technically it's a really good product, but you listen to it in 5 minutes and you're bored. You're like, I don't get it, because there's nothing to get. There's no intention. There's no line of energy for you to expand through.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the opposite. I do everything in one take, one shot. I get the feeling, I set my intention, I press record, and I go. And when it's done, it's done. And if I get 30 minutes into something and I completely lose my train of thought, or I start to think or feel bad, I get the gut check. I come out, I hit delete, and I don't even listen to one part of it, because the energy line got screwed up. It's worthless to me. Boom, delete, and I do it again.
Mm.
And that's really magical, because it allows the listener to expand through you. There's no cuts, because anytime you cut an audio, this is what happens to that line of energy. So if you got a 40-minute audio and you read everything 10 times, you're only going to get to maybe 5. Of course, no one is going to connect. There's nothing to connect. I press it once. So you're expanding as I'm expanding. You're riding that beam of self-observation, energy, intention, support, encouragement, empathy, love, and all the emotions I attach to my intention. But then at the end of it, over here there's a mental wall I put up. It's, I hope I did a good job. Should I have said that differently? Should I redo it? I don't hope, wonder, and wish a damn thing. When I feel good and my intention's right, it's perfect. And I don't need anyone. I'm not looking for a Christmas card. And that combination really, well, it seems to be resonating with tens of millions of people. So obviously it works.
Yeah, I have one more question. I noticed on most of your audios that you do double taping. So there's your voice is double tracked on there. So this is actually a technical question. Do you do that on GarageBand or do you do one recording, like as you just said, a 40-minute recording, let's say, and then do another one and then just lay the tracks one on top of the other?
Good question. You're talking about the 3D audios?
Yeah.
Now, the 3D audios are completely different. It's a special microphone I built. It's a microphone. It's a mannequin. And I built ear canals, and there's binaural microphones in there, and I got brain tissue, and I duplicated a human head, and it has silicone ears. And so when you're listening to that, notice you'll hear me right up against your ear, or up against your throat, or in front of your face. That's because I'm presenting myself to this mannequin in a chair. It's in an open room. It's not a sound booth. So the way that captures the audio, it's as if you're the mannequin. So it picks up all the sensory. And then the silicone ears, if I whisper or blow in your ear, you feel it. That's how I'm able to do that. The software I use is just Soundtrack Pro, 10-year-old Mac software. I record all the affirmations in one line, and then I keep the main track, I duplicate it, and then I do cut it up a little bit and layer it underneath itself, so there's still that same beam. But it's a very special microphone. I don't do any panning. I don't do any tricks. There's no echoes. It's just that microphone captures natural sound. Mm-hmm. That's how I do that. Okay,
well, I just have to ask because my girl's dad is a specialist in pro audio. So what kind of microphone?
If he can explain to me how I do that, he can have anything he wants. I'll give him $1,000 because it's so simple. No one will ever figure it out, but it's so magical that it blows your mind. It's just one of those things.
You created this mannequin and put these earbuds that you record into it. Okay.
And I don't know how to build anything. I got a feeling, how can I make some 3D? Because I was listening on YouTube to some 3D sounds of like light bulbs breaking and keys shaking, and I was really impressed with that. I said, if I could incorporate my intention with some affirmations and music with this will be cool. And somehow I built the thing and it works.
That's so interesting. Yeah, because I was listening to a couple of them with headphones on, and I went, okay, I used to be connected with a sound man. How's this being done?
Yeah, I want to know if he can tell me, because
yeah, I'll put him on. I'll put him on a headset and put him one of your meditations on, a 3D meditation.
Yeah, but it's very simple. That's all natural, ambient. Like when you hear me far away, I'm far away from the microphone. When you hear me up close, I'm up close to it.
Okay, so the microphone is in the mannequin, so you're walking back and forth.
I'm in
a
room.
Ear. Yeah, right. Okay, gotcha. But when you walk up to the ear and whisper into the ear, you're actually at the ear. And
yes.
You back away and okay, yeah. Okay, that's what it actually feels like. So that's
yeah, it's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, I dug it. Yeah.
Some people out there, they're trying to copy it, which is fun because, like I said, it's so simple, but it's so magical, and nobody will ever figure it out.
It is the coolest thing ever. I had not heard a 3D meditation until this morning, and that's what I woke up to instead of doing my usual one. I wanted to try one of the ones that you had suggested, and and I was telling Nancy, well, we're sharing a room. So I'm like, this is cool. It's like he's whispering in this ear, and then his head is going around to this ear. And it is the coolest thing.
And I'm in front of you. Yeah, this is, you know, I had I can't get too detailed here.
Well, we don't want anybody to copy it, so yes. Don't.
I'm not worried about that. I had a full body mannequin on the floor, and I was practicing some other stuff with that. And I don't know. I don't think I can't put any of that stuff up. I think it'll be too much. It was like I'm listening to myself going, what am I doing to myself? Like it was, I got to keep it from the neck up.
Right.
I'll be getting some interesting comments if I start posting them. But
that is funny.
That intention, it's the intention really behind it, the technical. It's the energy I'm emanating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, I kind of want to go back a few steps because we're getting real technical. For those people who have never meditated before, maybe they've heard about, people that meditate and that, it's so good for them and everything. And of course, we all have had great things happen because of the reason that because we meditate, these things happen. But I kind of want to hear from you. What would you tell this person that doesn't really know much about meditation, that's thinking about doing, the benefits of meditating and why guided meditation is so important?
Sure. Good question. Well, it's only important if they have a desire to want to improve themselves. Mm-hmm. If they don't have to meditate at all. I mean, and meditation isn't a requirement for any level of success, money, income, body, attitude. It's a tool to assist you. So no one needs to meditate, but it's a good tool to assist you on your own self-awareness. Me, myself, I think I do a unique job of guiding people. I kind of bring you from A to Z, where most other people don't. I don't even know what most people do. I think they try to make meditations, and they confuse me. But, before even listening to like someone like myself or putting on the headphones, just breathe. Put the air conditioner on and just focus on the ring of the air conditioner or the ceiling fan or the bathroom fan. Sit on the toilet and just put the bathroom fan on, shut the lights off, and just chill. Shut your phone off. Just give yourself 5 minutes to chill. And it's easier but on the other side, it's easier to influence people with positive words than it is to get them to stop thinking. So it's the mind chatter versus the self-awareness battle that you got to conquer, but you got to want to do it. My audios, if you put on a pair of headphones and listen to my 3D, I'll give you a little of my science behind the 3D. Is a lot of people say, how can I meditate when you're coming at me from all these directions? Because the way that 3D picks up, as you girls will agree, you really can't think about anything else because you're trying to pick up what I'm saying, and I'm all over the place all at once. So you're not thinking about much when you're not thinking about anything when you're listening to those. We lose Nancy?
No, I think she just put herself off of. She is.
I'm here.
Actually, it's funny that when I started looking through YouTube at your, it says guided meditations, and actually, when I do hypnosis, that's kind of how I walk people through. So for me, it's more of a feeling of a guided hypnosis, a guided imagery, if you will.
Yeah.
Because many people have a very hard time clearing their mind. Some thought comes through and, I can tell them, okay, well, acknowledge it and let it fly on through. But the truth is that if you do a guided meditation, and I used to, and I still do, record sessions and give it to them. And I've had people say, oh, I heard every word you said. And then I send them the recording and say, okay, listen to this in the evening and in the morning. And they go, I didn't hear every word you said. I thought I did at the time. And I said, you thought you did at the time, exactly, but you didn't, because you're being guided. And that's what yours are so brilliant at, because you have to stay in the moment and listen. And that's actually better than meditation.
Totally takes over your conscious and your subconscious, so you're not thinking about anything. You can't think about what you have to do tomorrow, because your brain's trying to pick up what's he saying now and now and now. So it is actually quieting the mind.
Yeah.
And if you notice, the more you listen to those 3D, I mean, I'll listen to them and I'll enter a state of consciousness where I don't even hear the music or the voices. I know it's my audio. I know what I'm supposed to be hearing. And I just enter a space of consciousness. Like, my mind totally clears out. I don't even hear the music or the words anymore. I'm just silence. But I know it's playing.
Yeah, that occurs at a certain point, because at a certain point I stopped chasing where's the sound coming from, because I couldn't figure it out. As an audio person, I'm thinking, where's that sound coming from? How did he record that? How'd this work? And then at a certain point, it bypasses all of that, and it just kicks in. Yeah. So what you've created there is actually, it kicks through the filters of, you do what I do with people in hypnosis, but it's brilliant because you walk them through the whole process. And it kicks through those filters and allows the subconscious to open wide open. It's very relaxing and intentional. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, the intention's everything. People will feel where you're coming from infinitely quicker than they're going to hear what you're trying to say to them.
Yeah.
You know, like I even tell a lot of people, like, the words really don't mean anything. It's the intention behind you.
Right.
The words are really, like, everyone tries to think everything has to be scripted and perfect and clean.
Right.
You miss the whole point. Nobody cares how professional, perfect, scripted, and clean you sound. How do you make them feel?
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's like you said,
that's
too,
an
when
aha
the energy
moment,
is kind of channeling on through. I don't know where half the words come from when I'm in an actual session. I don't know.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
It just occurs. Yeah.
Well, I want to bring it around. We're getting to, I think, the top of the hour. We didn't want to go not an hour from when we started. I apologize to all those viewers who thought they were going to see us at 9 o'clock Eastern. We had some technical difficulties. Anyway, we didn't want to keep it too long. We can always maybe try to talk Paul into coming back for if you have questions you want us to ask. Maybe we can get something set up with chat roll so you can ask questions in the chat roll. But before we go, I want you to tell us about your new app, because I was listening to that today while I was doing some work, and it is fantastic. One of the things that I love about it is, at least for what the time I was listening to it, it was music, but there were no words. And but I want you to explain kind of the philosophy behind the app. And then also we will put a link. It's basically just Google, or not Google, but search Paul Santisi on your smartphone app, wherever you get your apps from. And so tell us about that app, what the philosophy is behind it, and it's just a cool thing. So
Sure.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, the app. It's called Paul Santisi Music Mastermind Radio is what it is. And how all this kind of began was after I put those initial meditations up, like we talked about at the beginning, the response was really good, and I started getting a lot of comments. And some of the comments were, I have 3 kids, I work 2 jobs. When I get home at night, I'm bone tired. Do you have anything I can listen to during the day to keep my vibration high, keep me feeling good? And I thought, well, all right, well, how about music? And I'm not musically inclined. Beat, hook, melody, no clue how to find it, no clue what it is, okay? But I thought, all right, well, maybe I can make some music. And I tried, and I'm like, no, this is horrible. This ain't going to happen. So I remember one day I was just sitting there, and I said, let me just use the law of attraction. So I put a command out, and I said, universe, I want to begin to associate with like-minded people that are listening to my meditations, audios, and videos that are benefiting, that just happen to be musically inclined. That was the broadcast. That just happened to be musically inclined. It wasn't to make records. It wasn't out to radio networks. I want people who like me that know music. That was my command, and I let it go. Then I started getting these emails from this fella. He started telling me about his astral projection, his awakening, his lucid dreams, the self-awareness, and all these amazing things he was experiencing since listening to the meditations. So we're chatting back and forth, probably 6 or 8 emails deep. It was a few years ago now. And then I just happened to type, "What do you do for work?" And he goes, "I'm a singer-songwriter." I'm like, here he is. I'm like, oh my God. So I said, "Send me some of your work." And he sent me some of his songs. And he's down south. And it was brilliantly done. It was a little aggressive. It was a little explicit, a little hardcore to the direction I was thinking. But it was there. The talent was there. So I got him on the phone and I said, "Hey, what do you think about changing the industry here and making positive feel-good music?" And then I thought, well, if I teach him how I apply my intention, that works, obviously, and then he applies that into his music, we should be generating a similar feel-good feeling. Then I can promote him through my listeners, and we're expanding this vibration, part of this collective mission. And his name was Twize. And he created the first song called Lucid Dreams. And I went and put that on YouTube. And within a couple of days, it was downloaded in every country in the world. It was just like, poof. And again, the comments from people, the gratitude. And I said, okay, we're on to something. And it was him and I for a couple of months. Then one day we're on the phone and we did a collective broadcast. Let's attract more people who are listening who just happen to be musically inclined. And repeat. And people started flowing and coming in. And now then I took those songs and I would teach every artist that would connect with me how to apply their intention. So I wouldn't just share music that they created before and say, yeah, I can help you. I'd say, no, I don't care what you did before. You're going to create new music with what I'm going to teach you, because we all need to be singing literally from the same hymnal to generate a similar vibration.
Right.
And, so all the songs that you hear, they're all created with this specific intention. And at its core, it's for the listener to feel better about themselves. That's why it's called pure positive feel-good music. But fast forward now, 4 years later, we got over 30 artists, hundreds of songs, got about 20 hours of music. Wow. And there's some of the most influential artists from all over the world that create music with the intention first.
Wow.
And then I, went from me posting it on that YouTube channel, that morphed to its own YouTube channel, and then that became the app that you talked about, and now it's its own radio network. And the app is free. You can just download it, Santisi Music, and you listen. Mm-hmm. And you're going to feel better because tension's there. And we have all genres. There's country, hip-hop, techno, there's instrumentals. We got Dr. Wayne Bathanis, who's a world-class concert pianist, phenom. He's creating magical music. We have people in Belgium and Canada and Germany and America and California. We got the whole mix. And, there's more artists that come in. And I can kind of get a sense of when I get that email from that artist, if they can kind of qualify. Because, I got to feel some kind of compatibility. I just don't share this intention thing with anyone. But those who do qualify, I do share it with them. And that's all that music. Yeah, that's how that happened to be.
That is awesome. Yeah, and a lot of us out there in internet land, but I love music, and I, am one to put on Amazon Music or Pandora or whatever. But the problem with that is it's usually popular music, whatever genre you like to listen to. When there's a lot of words and you're doing work, it kind of interrupts your thought pattern. And so, at least for the part I was listening to today, it was instrumental, but it still made me feel good. I had that higher vibration, and it was an enjoyable work atmosphere, but it didn't interfere with my thought process that I'm like, instead of thinking of what I should be doing, I'm like, singing the words to the song and stuff like that. So I love it. That's my new thing now.
And the more listen to, you're going to notice Like, I listen all day long, and I get so many aha moments from the lyrics that I hear again and again and again.
Really?
Artists drop so many magical seeds of wisdom and application and truth on you. It's mind-blowing. Like, I'll be hearing something, and I'm like, oh my God, that's perfect. I never thought of it like that. And I've heard the song 1,000 times, and I'm still constant aha moments, because collectively there's so much knowledge that these just aren't, they're very spiritual, awakened people that are musically inclined, that are utilizing and emanating a similar intention like I've shared with them. So it's really, like, each song, it's really a magical self-empowerment tool. It's beyond the words, and it's beyond the music to how it makes you feel.
That's awesome. Okay, well, we want to wind this up. I do want to hopefully have you back on at some time in the near future, maybe in the next, I don't know, maybe after the holidays, because it's getting to be kind of the crazy time of year. And get our technical issues taken care of so we can have chat roll and have people ask questions besides just us crazy madcap women. And I appreciate you taking the time out of your family life and your busy schedule to spend time with us and talk about the wonderful things that you do. I personally want to thank you for all the work that you do, because your meditations have changed my life and continue to change it.
We're on the way. I got a whole new round on the way.
Awesome. I watch your news feed. I'm waiting for them all the time. So anyway, I want to thank you, and of course thank to my Mafia sisters for joining us this evening. We're not on a regular schedule right now. We will in the near future, so keep an eye on our timelines, and we will see you on the next show.
Awesome, girls. You guys are the best.
Thank you, Paul.
Thanks, Paul. You're awesome.
Sometimes.